welcome to another episode of Turn Left. I am your host, Indiana's own Dana Black, coming to you live. Yes, all the way live from BlackWhere Studios, where we talk about Indiana politics from the left side of things. Welcome back to another episode of Turn Left. I'm your host, Indiana's own Dana Black. Man, oh man, the candidates just keep coming. I'm excited about it. I read your posts, y'all. I hear what y'all saying out there, y'all. Y'all want to know more about the candidates. Well, then go on over to my YouTube page. You can learn about as many candidates that have come on my show, and there's been a lot of them. So if you're not following me, follow Turn Left. If you're not sure who's on the ballot, do a Google search and see if they've been on Turn Left, because I'm bringing you these candidates, y'all, for you to get engaged. I'm bringing you these candidates so that we all know who's on our ballots and how we can support them. I'm excited about it. All right, today's show, we're coming from the southwest corner of Indiana. We have Logan Patberg, who is running in House District 76. Logan, welcome to the show.
Dana, thank you for having me.
How are you doing today? How's life treating you?
It's going great. Yesterday, I went to this warm and beautiful Juneteenth celebration in Evansville. Tomorrow is my birthday.
Hey, cancer season for you, ain't it?
Absolutely. Well, a cusp, I guess, if you want to be technical about it.
Yeah. Well, happy early birthday. I appreciate, you young folk, keep living and keep growing. So tell the people who you are and where you come from.
Well, as we know, I'm Logan Patberg, or we're going to find out. Running in District 76 here. A few things about me. I'm a teacher. I'm a physics teacher at a local public high school in my area. I'm a father. I serve on the board of that teachers union. And before I became a teacher, I spent about a decade working in the automotive or agricultural world. Either working with people who are getting their hands dirty or doing it myself. Mm-hmm. So, I'm not coming into this race with a huge political background. I'm coming because I know the issues of District 76, and folks are doing a lot of stuff right and still coming out behind.
Well, talk about your journey a little bit. You said you worked with skilled labor, I assume, at some point, and you worked with people who get their hands dirty. What was the journey from being in that space for 10 years and deciding to become a teacher? And not just any teacher, physics. Like that ain't even an easy subject, bro.
Well, we'll get to the physics part second, but I was, not always the most focused student in school, which I don't know what exactly I would attribute that to, but maybe it was things came a little easier to me than they came to other folks. Mm-hmm. And so I really didn't have the easiest time once I got to high school, because the stakes change. There's mm-hmm. credits, there's things have to be on time, et cetera. And that part of my life was a little bit of a struggle, but I had lots of educators around me that really were able to prop me up and help me get to a better place. But that being said, out of high school, I decided I was going to go to trade school. I wanted a job that could always make me money, no matter if I was working at a place or if I really needed to, I could work on cars in my own front yard. Mm. So I thought about it from an economic standpoint. I wanted to, have a skill or a trade. So I spent a decade doing that. I started, changing oil, some brakes, but I really moved into the other side of the counter, which I was selling car parts. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of analogous situations, I think, in a parts department to being an educator. And I know that sounds silly, but my favorite parts of my job were, helping people find solutions and teaching them the most efficient way to get there. Mm-hmm. So that allure back to education was always itching there for me somewhere, somehow. So I just decided at some point I was going to return to school, and that I did.
I love it. And why physics? Help? It's because I'm gonna be honest with you. Like you, I was an unfocused young person, didn't get my head out of my behind until I was 35. Okay, when I went back to school. But that is, I never even took physics, so I don't even know the basics of physics. I just know it's hard. What made you go that direction?
Honest to goodness, it was I went back when I went back to school. I finished my degree in secondary biology, like high school biology.
Mm-hmm.
The physics thing was just an opportunity that occurred over the last couple of years of teaching. So to back up, was going to school for biology, and I was really mostly interested because of COVID.
Mm.
There was a virus, something we could not see, and we needed to try to attack, and that was really, really, really interesting to me because it was an actual an actual epidemic, a problem that we just
Mm-hmm.
couldn't see. And
Mm-hmm.
so you have to, delve into science to really understand everything. Because there was a lot of information coming out, bad, good, and everything in between. And I just wanted to get down to the bottom of it. So I think that's where I think being interested in science has been a lifelong thing. And that is
Okay.
not something you have to study.
Yeah.
You can always have a methodology, a hypothesis, a method of action, and take good notes and try to do it better next time. And that's what science means to me. So it's just another process. Physics is just the language. You use math as the language of physics to explain, the phenomenon in the world around us. I know that's a really simplistic way of putting it, but it's just like anything else. You build it block by block.
Oh man, I love it. And see, I'm listening to you talk about, going into trades and doing so because you wanted to make sure you had a plan to sustain yourself, and then living your dreams of going back to school to become an educator. It sounds like to me like have always been an incredibly thoughtful and forward-thinking individual. How did you get there? Was that just something that's just innate to who you are, your natural intellectual curiosity?
I think you're giving me a lot of credit right now, but I think staying curious and always wanting to learn new things is absolutely the biggest part of how my journey has ended up. Is never being satisfied with good enough and always wanting to learn more or do better.
I love it. And are you sound like the kind of person that is always asking the next question. Is that you?
Yeah, that's why I think that's maybe some of the reason I get apprehensive in an interview is because I feel like I like to ask questions, and it's I just as much prominence on asking the questions as giving the solution, because to get to the best answer, you have to have both.
Yeah, I think that's what makes a great lawmaker. Now you are on your career path. You're doing your thing. You're teaching, inspiring the next generation of young minds. And you were perplexed with the COVID thing and you discovered what that was. But why are you now putting your name on the ballot to run for office?
I feel like it's the shared interest of what the issues, the timely issues are of our, Southwestern Indiana of our time.
Mm-hmm.
I've knocked several thousand doors already, and folks tell me over and over again that their wages haven't kept up with inflation. The cost of living is too high, and they feel, very ignored. And that's exactly the same three main things. Add in a little bit of education funding for myself, for sure. But those three things were happening to me as well. So it's not like I was living some privileged special life being, as an educator or a public servant. I was feeling the exact same pain as every single other Hoosier is feeling right now. And last cycle, 2024, we had no choice in this district, in District 76. And so if I wanted to see change, I thought it needed to be me.
I love that. And that's what I'm hearing a lot from a lot of our first time candidates, which I think is amazing because I know that feeling. That's how I felt in 2016 when I ran for the first time. Right. And so now that you have your name on the ballot and you're talking to people, are you able as an educator to connect the dots for folks in the pain that they're feeling and the policies that are inflicting that pain?
Yeah, I think the most helpful part of being an educator is folks are actually really proud. In my area, even if they are struggling, they hate to tell you that. They will take the struggle with a smile, and that's not what government is for. It's not to do things to us; it's to do things for us. And so, and that being said, that is what I've seen.
And I know you said you knocked so many doors. I'm assuming you just took this campaign by the bulls by the horn and said, "I'm gonna just get out there." What is this? What has this experience been for you so far?
Yeah, so I think immediately, as soon as January 20th, 2025 or so occurred, we had a swearing in um, of President Trump, and I knew I was bracing for all the bad policy.
Right.
And so I thought to myself, like, no, it's time to get involved. So I made a call to the folks in the county in which I live, my local Democratic Party. I gave them a call. I've never, before this race, I never felt a super special way about any party in particular. But as time has gone on, I have felt more aligned with one as opposed to the other.
Yeah.
And so I started to think I need to be involved. My voice is not the only one, but if I wanted to be heard, we got to start small. So I signed up to be a precinct committee person at that time. I really got to talking and going to some of the meetings, and it just kind of blossomed from there. And it's just like, I just wanted to start small. Let's run for county council. We started talking. It's like, no, Logan. I mean, I do advocate, I've advocated with this to Indiana State Teachers Association at the State House. Like, is county council going to be an appropriate place to make the decisions or the effect that you want to see? And that wasn't it. So that's where we came about to this race. And since about, I think, July or June of last year, we've been making steps the entire time. So about a year at this point.
I love it. So you've been preparing, which is not a surprise because it sounds like you prepare for the future on a regular basis. You mentioned that you are a part of you're on the board of the teachers union.
Of my local. I'm a regular Indiana State Teachers Association member, but I'm on the board of my local.
Okay.
Evansville Teachers Association.
Okay. So talk to us and share with us what you can of what are some of those conversations like in your union union chats about the policies and the things that you guys want to see advocated for at the State House? Because I feel like the unions are working as hard as they can, but they're getting thwarted, right, with bad policies. Help us understand, one, how we can help the unions, the teachers union, be more effective. And then what are the things that you guys are talking about that you are most concerned about?
First and foremost, I think what helps is just sharing and having the awareness or sharing to people around that a teachers union, is a union, and we are working to fight for students, educators, and really honestly the district too. When it all boils down to, we're not on different teams. I'm on the bargaining committee. Let's say, I'm on the bargaining committee of my union. At times that sort of pits you against the district, but we really are the same team because we're all trying to progress public education forward. We just have the students' interest. Both of us had those in mind, and obviously, when you bargain, you want teachers in the district to both come out, hopefully, with a good deal. But moving past that, I think SB 1 of 2025 or SEA 1 now, it's the Senate Enrolled Act now. That was a huge focus during that cycle. And since last session was not a budget cycle, and once we got past the rigmarole of redistricting, we knew that SB 1 was still going to be that huge cloud, that dark cloud over, every local municipality and school district in the state.
I love it. How did you guys break it down? How did you guys break it down in SB 1?
So don't quote me on the numbers. But all three of the districts that fall into the jurisdiction, the area of District 76 would be both of the ones in Posey County, which I live, one in which my son attends, North Posey, Mount Vernon. And then we have the Evansville-Vanderburgh School Corporation, which my area doesn't cover the whole thing, but that's the district I graduated from. That's the district I teach in. And that's the district I'm on the board for. And it's multiple $1 million per year over the 3-year period that it covers.
Yeah.
So I don't want to speak to a specific number without it in front of me, but it's multiple millions of dollars each year. And it was a cloud over our last bargaining session. And I know it's going to be the first thing brought up in 2027 when we bargain again.
Yeah. So this thing, the SCA one, because it's Senate Enrolled Act now, right? Like you said, it has been causing a ripple effect of problems at municipal levels that it just seems like that they did not foresee or did not care. Because I know they talked about, well, locals can raise their taxes. So talk to us about when you win this election, how you want to try to repair the harm that's been caused if you can, right?
Right. I've explained it to people, because folks are, especially in my area, I don't know about every single one of the districts here in Indiana, but property taxes, secondary to a general cost of living, or maybe if you want to throw education, childcare, utilities in there, there is that issue, being brought up. And so, um, sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Okay. It's okay. We're talking about how you could, once you get elected, how you could.
Oh, yeah, the locals. So I've been explaining it to folks. I'm sorry I got lost there, but
that's okay.
I've been explaining that at the door, people's property taxes keep increasing, even though we just saw that decrease or the change to the cap levels, changes to the sales tax differences. That's where I was trying to pull, especially for our farmers. There was a little bit of difference in the way they claim certain things. But what it's boiling down to is that our local fire departments, our local sheriff's departments, and schools are getting funds taken out of one pocket, and the goal was, or the way I felt the goal was for those municipalities to go out to the public and say, I need to have an income tax. And so we've taken $1 out of one pocket and only shoved in 50 cents into the other side. And it's just one of those things, just like cost of living, where even if we find the correction in the back part, people feel like it's not going to go back down either way. And I don't know if they want their assessed home value to go back down. So we're in a really large conundrum. Between the property tax, amount for most regular people and, the services that we're accustomed to and that need to be paid for by the state. So I think that I think property tax needs to come back under a full scale, review. At this point, I mean, it's in my area, it's a huge, giant issue. In Vanderburgh County, they passed the law and the bills are still going up. In Posey, at best, it's a wash. And so we're losing services and not actually meaningfully gaining any more dollars back into our wallets.
Yeah.
I think there needs to be a review of property tax from day one.
I love it. I love it. And I feel like, Republicans who swear they won't lower taxes just screwed over everybody who is of that mindset that, lower taxes because now everything is going up. Because there's like over 50 referendums that'll be coming down all over the state, just school referendums, just to keep schools open. But their desire to end public education as a whole is unfortunately working. And as a teacher in public education, in public schools, help us understand the value of making sure that we keep these public schools sustainable. Because I imagine in District 73, you probably don't have a lot of charter and voucher options down there, right?
Yeah. So take it for how we will. I think we have the #1 charter school in the entire state, and has been the entire country at one point, which is Signature School in Evansville. It doesn't fall under my district, but it's a magnet for kids all around.
Okay.
But they used to work off of a lottery and a system as well, and so on and so forth. I would say the bigger slice of folks that move away from the public school system in our area is we have a very, very robust and thriving private school like parochial Catholic schools. And so, the charter situation is very different. And definitely in Posey County, we don't have any type of private or charter school that goes past the 8th grade. And so it's a little bit less of the issue. I think what I've heard most from people is that the vouchers becoming having no income, eligibility requirement. So anybody can get one. And the conversation I've heard is I don't want my tax dollars going to Pacers and Colts players.
Right.
For school that they probably would already paid for either way. It's almost a $6,600 check. That for a normal Hoosier, that's 10% of their yearly income, and we're just giving it to folks that as sort of as a wealth transfer. Our highest earners, our literal professional, sports players, and those folks are privy to those same vouchers, and there needs to be a stop.
And
somewhere, somehow.
I know that they think about the Colts and Pacer players, but you also have to remember those guys are super duper young, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of them, their kids are not here. I would be more concerned about the executive level individuals at businesses who are making, mid six figures, and they're getting the check, and they're, that's the sentiment's
still same. The same.
Yeah, I feel that.
We're transferring it to our wealthiest Hoosiers who have probably been using private schools at either.
Yeah, and the reason why I say that, and I'm gonna be real honest with you, most of our athletes, professional athletes, are people of color. And so, and when I hear that, I feel like, and it probably isn't even meant that way, right? But I'm going to tell you what I heard was, I don't want these black athletes to get that money. And I know they probably don't mean it like that. They mean it. What they mean is that there's millionaires getting money for vouchers. I would hope that we would expand that conversation out from just Colts and Pacers players, and we talk about like the business leaders across our state who are also getting those. And I know that's not what you meant. And I want to be very clear, Logan, and everybody listen. I know that's not what Logan meant. But that's what I heard, right? Because I'm a little bit more sensitive to certain things.
Oh, absolutely. That was an anecdotal. That was a direct quote I heard as well. But I mean, the special interest groups, I know we don't have to name businesses' names, but there's folks in Indiana that have longstanding corporations that see that too. They get their way a lot of the time, and those folks are receiving vouchers. The beneficiaries of those types of situations are receiving vouchers too, and absolutely they didn't need those as well. Absolutely. Just using the anecdote I heard, that was something I've heard more than once at a door. So that's why I brought up that particular thing. But I think what really people are meaning are all special interests are kind of putting their thumb on our back, and when is enough enough?
I love it. I love that you're telling us stories from the doors. I think that is so important, and it's so critically valuable. So when you think about your campaign, I know when I knock doors, it kind of shaped my messaging, and it shaped how I ran my campaign. Tell us, like, from what you've been learning and talking to people, the three main issues of your campaign.
The main issue, number one, is the cost of living. I have two different, service areas when it comes to utilities. So they have two different ideas about their investor-owned utility company, but both of them do have the same clues that over the past 5 years, they feel taken advantage of. And that could mean attacking the fees. That could mean attacking the transparency. That can mean attacking what type of business is brought in and how transparent are the attributes of that business that's moving in. So that's number one, cost of living. I think, and that plays directly into transparency. People are becoming more and more distrustful of the government. And that's, we should be, comprised of the people, for the people. So we shouldn't have this lack of trust. I mean, we can understand why. Over time, but I want to bring that back. And I think people are yearning for wanting somebody to trust, somebody that feels like they can work for them, even if it isn't somebody that they agree with 100% of the time.
That's what's up.
They want somebody to work for them.
Yeah, I feel that.
And so besides cost of living, transparency, it's plain and simple showing up. We have to make sure we're in the communities doing the work we can, because you can't truly represent people if you're trying to fly in and maybe sometimes even tell them how to be, whenever the entire world's made up of compromise.
Yes.
And we have to find a solution to where we all maybe end up just a little bit more, a little bit ahead of where we were before, instead of some groups very far ahead and other groups behind.
I feel that.
That's where we need to be. Those three things is what I hear over and over again.
I love that. So let me ask you this. The Trump administration, I said his name. I usually don't say it. I usually say the Orange Menace. The Orange Menace's administration has been forcing a lot of our utility companies to keep open coal powered plants. We know for a fact that for a long time, like the Evansville area, Southwest Indiana had like some of the largest coal ash pits, some of the poorest air quality, and the whole state is like that. But I just know that I just remember having these conversations years ago about what was happening down in the Southwest corner. Are people concerned at all about the federal government stepping in and requiring these companies who have said, hey, it costs us way too much money to maintain these old plants. Why am I still doing it? Are you guys as ratepayers having to field that as well? Are you guys having to pick up the slack on that?
It sure feels like it, but I can't say 100% that that's the case. I think people, we have an example. I think it's A.B. Brown is the name of the power plant. And, the Trump administration wanted to continue. They were going to sunset it. And so when you sunset a large place like that, the maintenance schedules get a little lax, probably. You could assume, because it's eventually not going to be existing anymore.
They reallocate resources in different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that by turning that back on, there's that plausibility we're feeling the pain, because they have to re-maintenance the whole facility, in which they weren't planning to do. And so I think that could be a direct, you could find that link anyway, for sure. But I truthfully, at the door in conversations, people are not so much worried about pollution. I think that there's been some good measures taken in the past decade or so, since there was a documentary put out called Super Polluters on YouTube about the Evansville area, when our 6 coal-fired power plants in a 60-mile radius or whatever. And that may be what you were referencing. We had like the same air quality at one point as Manhattan, with a percentage of the population. Right. So it's not something that people bring up, but what they do want to know is, if we're bringing on this old power plant, our bills have been too high for the entire. I mean, if you talk to our southern customers, they would say the entire time that they've lived in their homes, but their utilities are too high. Why are we maintaining a facility? That's just going to make us, go backwards on our bills. That's what people want to say. More than anything, people want to be told what's going on. They are tired of the NDAs when folks or new businesses come in and they don't get all the details. Because I don't know, folks are just wanting to say no to everything, but they are definitely wanting to say no to being left out and shut out of the process.
I love it. Let me tell you something. I feel your passion. Like, I feel like I should stump for you and then let you come in behind me and give your speech, because, bruh, I am feeling your passion, not just your passion for the campaign, but the passion for the people that you are talking to. Like, one of the things I've noticed during the course of this conversation, you have rarely said what I think or what I believe. You have consistently said what I'm hearing, what I hear when I'm at the door, which means you have the right mindset to be a representative of the district that you're running for. I want to applaud you on that. I don't know who coached you, who trained you, where'd you learn how to do it, or if it's just natural. You are nailing that thing that we call a representative government, and I do believe District 76 is going to be in great shape with you leading the way. I wanted to name that, because a lot of times our first time candidates don't know what they're doing well. They don't know where they need to improve, and I just wanted to tip my hat and just say, bro, you are killing this interview. You are nailing it.
Thank you. I really think it comes from truly the etymology of the word. If you can't represent or be a representative, if you're not out in the trenches, you have to be shaking hands at the doors, and there's no easy way about it. You have to put in work.
Have you all, and I'm gonna do a backtrack question, because I'm curious, because this ain't normal. What this conversation and the way you approach things is not normal. What was it in your upbringing that prepared you to have this thought process of forward thinking, of thinking about what's next, thinking about the future? Was there anything in your upbringing that brought you that?
I really think it has to do with what I'm interested in and what I'm inclined to. So before I taught, I did a little lifting, but in truth be told, that it wasn't super important. The important part was I was able to make a plan, work the plan, and follow through with it. And sometimes there was a micro plan. There would be 4 weeks of this is what needs to be accomplished, and then 4 weeks of something else in 4 weeks, and you got a 12-week mesocycle or bigger. But that's kind of how planning in the classroom is. You plan your work and work your plan. And so that's the same exact way. We want to knock X amount of doors in a week. We got to plan the work the plan, because it's not all about me. And I don't have all the answers. And the collective amount of us should have the best answer, because then we can't say, we did this to y'all. We did this for us.
Oh, my God. You are my brother from another mother, man. Like, you are speaking my language. Well, congratulations on working your plan, because I hear it, I see it, and I believe in it. And you are bringing the passion that people want to see in their Democratic candidates. So I'm going to tell you what, when somebody says, or when I read another post about we need fresh new blood, like, you're the fresh new blood. Like, you're already on the ballot. We just got to get people aware that you are a candidate and get them out there. So tell the people where they can find you.
So I have a website, www.patbergforindiana.com, and that's just the general information. I keep people posted mostly through Instagram, and Facebook, where I'm in and out. Where I'm at a lot of doors, so there's a lot of pictures of me waving at the camera. But that's just to show folks that I'm here in this neighborhood. I'm going to be in yours next. So Facebook, Patberg for Indiana, on both of those things. Can't let this go without plugging. If you feel so inclined and you live in my area, I would love for you to come knock doors with me. We do it in pairs all the time. We train folks and make sure they feel comfortable. And last but not least, all campaigns unfortunately run on money, and we have to get folks in the mindset that an investment in a campaign is some people's way of really, really letting their thoughts be there. I mean, that we're giving them the opportunity to invest in their time or their money or any of the ways. And I think, people are wanting to run away from that, but that's a system that's been given to us, and we should be, wanting to bring people in. We have a big coalition of folks who think I have a lot of different ideas, but we're trying to bring in everybody and make sure that we're representing everybody down here in southwestern Indiana.
Man, I'm over here cheesing because you are music to my ears, and I congratulate you on making a plan and working a plan and understanding all the pieces of the puzzle, making your ask for volunteers and making your ask for donations. Logan Patberg, running in House District 76. Thank you so much for joining me on Turn Left. I gotta tell you, and I'm gonna say it out loud, so when the people hear it, they're gonna be like, you have been one of my best prepared candidates first-time candidates that I have interviewed on this show. And I'm a tip my hat. I've had some good candidates. I ain't gonna lie to you. There's some great candidates out there, but you are the best prepared to deliver your message. Even when I push back on something, you were like, yeah, but that's kind of I'm waving my hands because you the man. You the man. You got this. Y'all, make sure you support Logan. He can use all the help he can get. Guys, thank you for joining me, Logan. I really do appreciate it.
I've been grateful for the opportunity. Thank you for having me, Dana.
I love it. Guys, listen to what I'm saying to you. I read your posts on social media. I don't always say nothing because it ain't nothing for me to say half the time. You guys say you need new blood. You say you want things to be different. Then help this guy. Help Logan. This is someone who understands what the word representative means in this government. This is someone who's out there knocking doors. Did you catch it? This is what I'm hearing. This is what they're saying to me. This is what I'm hearing. This is somebody who understands putting a plan together. He's not going to come out with some raggedy ass policy and not think about the impact it will have, the ripple effect it could have on our entire state just because it's a pet project for one of their homies. You see what I'm saying? Like, this guy is the kind of guy that we want to help win. Oh my God. Listen, Indiana's own Dana Black, click his donate link. He made the ask. Click his donate link, become a $5, $10, $15 recurring monthly donor. Because like he says, it's not the world that we want, it's the world that we're in right now. And that's how we be competitive. We're not going to be competitive thinking that we can operate in a space that doesn't exist. Right? We have to move where we are. And where we are, it says you've got to raise money to touch your voters. You have to be able to, and he's crisscrossing across rural counties in Indiana. Do you know how much gas that takes? Because there's a war and the Strait of Hormuz is either open or closed or whatever. Gas prices went through the roof. Now imagine how much money it takes to drive across District 76 to knock doors and talk to these people and show up in spaces. Guys, help him so that we can end the supermajority, end the bad policies that are really creating harm to Hoosiers all across Indiana. Did you feel his passion? I did. He poured it all into me and I can't even shut up. It's so wonderful. So click his donate link, find him, volunteer, because this is how we win elections, is by supporting each other. All right? Indiana's own Dana Black turned left. I'm telling you, y'all, I appreciate y'all tuning in, and I will holler at y'all next time. Peace. Turn Left is the property of Black Pearl IT Solutions, executive producer, Indiana's own Dana Black. Music by Dorian and 22 from Pixabay.